brothers and sisters, sons and daughters. Now let us try to comprehend the ethics for the recitation of the Qur'an. The Qur'an can be recited from one's memory in a state of sitting, standing, walking, or reclining, with or without wudu. Certain things, days and months, are recommended for the recitation of the Qur'an and which will increase the reward. These are during the prayer, in the night, before dawn, after sunrise, the day of Arafah, 9th of Zulhijjah, Fridays, Mondays, Thursdays, the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan, and the first 10 days of Zulhijjah. It is prohibited to use the Qur'an as a pillow because of its sacredness. It should not be carried to a hostile country or place where there is a likelihood of its desecration. Worn out pages of the Qur'an should not be cut into pieces. With respect and great care, they should either be washed with clean water or burned. Let us try to learn prerequisites for the recitation. Al-Shaykh Abu Abdullah al-Qurashi observes, all words of the Qur'an are addressed to those who carefully observe their duty. What is required for a Qari is to believe in them, accept them completely, rely on them, and turn to them with endurance, pleasure, thanks, hope, fear, and love. There are 10 vital tasks which Imam al-Ghazali has pointed out for the recitation of the Qur'an. Number 1, understanding the glorification of the literal words of Allah. 2, glorifying the speaker in the Qur'an is Allah. Paying attention and abandoning inner utterances of the soul. Hadithun nafs. 4th, pondering over the subject matter of the ayat recited. 5th, understanding the meaning of the ayat recited. 6th, avoiding the obstacles such as too much concentration on the pronunciation of letters to be detriment to an understanding of the ayah. Persistence in sin because of pride and slavery of passion. 7, considering that every part of the Qur'an is meant for the Qari. 8, developing the feelings with the message of the Qur'an by creating grief, fear, and hope. 9, creating the impression that the Qari is hearing the literal words of Allah from Allah and not from himself. And 10, avoiding any sense of the Qari's ability and power by looking at himself with the eye of satisfaction and purification. The recitation should always start with ta'awuz. That is,
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
the recitation of surahs should commence with basmala.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
The ornament of the Quranic recitation is a good melodic voice. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the recitation with such a voice. It should be recited with voice, which helps a person to comprehend, surrender, and experience humility. It should be recited in Arabic style by strictly observing the rules of al-Tajwid and avoiding any playing around with the duration of syllables, which we are going to discuss inshallah at length. It should be recited clearly and distinctly and without haste, in a manner which can create interest among the listeners and helps them to contemplate its message and derive maximum benefits from its teachings. Deliberately making a thin sound like a woman for the sake of melody should be avoided. The natural voice should be used. Those who for some reason have difficulty in recitation, but who still make an effort to recite it to the best of their abilities, will earn a double reward. A reward for their efforts and a reward for the recitation. It should be recited in Arabic. A translation in any other language, however good it may be, cannot convey the comprehensive meaning of the word of Allah, which remains untranslatable. Recitation should never be done to achieve people's pleasure and appreciation. It should only be done for the pleasure of Allah. It is recommended that a person should sit gracefully with humility, preferably facing the Qibla, the side of the Kaaba faced during the prayer, in a clean place, and give respect to the Qur'an. Looking at the Arabic text, which the Qari intends to recite, will increase the rewards manifold. During the recitation, the connections between the ayat should be maintained. Regularity and consistency should be observed in the recitation, and efforts should be made to increase the portion of memorization to ensure comprehension and reflection. Completion of the recitation of the Qur'an in a day is discouraged. It should be completed in at least 3 days. While reciting a passage, other passages should not be included until one specific theme is completed. In prayer, the portion recited should be easy for the Qari and one in which he or she has confidence, preferably maintaining the present order of the surahs. For public recitation, a suitable time should be selected and which will not cause any inconvenience to the listeners. It is always better to recite when people are willing to listen. The Qari should refrain from eating, and if he is addressed with salam, salutation, it should not be returned because it is a dhikr superior in merit than returning salam. Let us see now what to say and when to say it. Seek the divine benevolence when the ayah of Rahmah are recited, saying, Alhamdulillah. Seek Allah's forgiveness when the ayah on Adhab are recited, saying, Allahumma inni as'aluka al-afiyah. Seek Allah's glorification when reciting the ayat which glorify Allah, saying, Subhanallah. On frightening occasions, Allah's protection should be sought, saying, Na'udhu billah. When the ayat on supplication, forgiveness are recited, then Qari should say, Allahumma rzuqna warhamna. When the last ayah of Surah Al-Fatiha is recited, the Qari should say, Ameen. When the last ayah of Surah Al-Teen is recited,
أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين.
then one should say, Bala. وَنَحْنُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ مِنَ الشَّاهِدِينَ وَالشَّاكِرِينَ. When the ayat of Surah Al-Rahman are recited,
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
then one should say, وَلَا بِشَيْءٍ مِنْ آلائِكَ اللهم نعوذ بك فلك الحمد. When the ayah number 26 of Surah Al-Ghashiyah, Surah number 88, is recited,
ثم إن علينا حسابهم.
then it is required to say, Allahumma hasibna hisaban yasira. When the ayah number 40 of Surah Al-Qiyamah, Surah number 75, is recited, that is,
أليس ذلك بقادر على أن يحيي الموتى.
then one should say, Bala. When the ayah number 50 of Surah Al-Mursalat, Surah number 77, is recited,
فبأي حديث بعده يؤمنون.
one should say, Amanna billah. Repeat the recitation of the ayah on punishment and supplications. when completing the Qur'an after recitation of surah of the 30th part, starting from Surah Al-Duha, takbir should be recited. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahil hamd. The recitation of the ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah after Surah Al-Nas are recommended. At the end of a recitation, Sadaqallahul Azim should be said. When the recitation of the Qur'an is completed, it is considered an occasion when supplications are accepted. Supplications should be made with sincerity. Allah accepts such supplications. Allahumma salli ala Nabiyyir Rahma wa sallim. O Allah, let the world witness peace, justice, human dignity, freedom, unity, and prosperity.